So this is the new procedure. I have to start the Hangout, then start Alpha Geek Radio. Alpha Geek Radio video, so Alpha Geek Media. However, I will forget that probably tomorrow.
Okay. Going to make you a little
because
like
it's the first day back, I'm like, ooh, I got it all done right. All right.
Good man.
Thank you. You're very kind. Shall we do this?
Do it.
Daily Tech News Show is brought to you by me. You're welcome. But it's also brought to you by over 4,000 other people who also find some value in it every day. If you listen for the next 30 minutes and get even a little bit of value out of it yourself, consider going to patreon.com and searching for Daily Tech News Show and giving some value back. Now roll that beautiful theme music.
This is the Daily Tech News for Monday, August 24th, 2015. I'm Tom Merritt, and it's so good to be back. I missed doing this show for a week. Veronica Belmont is here. She was here last week, though, and it went very well. Did you have a good time?
Yeah, we had a great time, Roger and I. How was your assignment? I said
It was
you were out
good.
on assignment.
The assignment went well. Everything was awesome. People that I work with on that Connected Tech show that I was out filming last week are fantastic. But, man, I really missed this. It's so good to be back.
Yay! Good.
Are you ready?
Happy Monday.
Well, thank you. Happy Monday to you. Let's do some headlines. TechCrunch reports Microsoft launched the first public beta of Cortana for Android. You can have Cortana on your Android tablet or your phone, set a reminder, search the web, track flights, such like things that Cortana does. However, unlike on Windows, you can't just say, hey, Cortana, to activate the assistant. I was leaving a space in there so I don't actually activate people's Windows phones. So you can't do that. You can't open apps or toggle settings with Cortana. And the beta is only available in the U.S. right now. But you can get it if you're in the U.S. at play.google.com/apps/testing/com.microsoft.cortana. We'll have that link in the show notes too.
I can't test the desktop version yet because my Windows 10 install has catastrophically failed once more after a week of attempting to repair it.
So it installed, it upgraded fine, right?
The first time, going from Windows 8 to going to 10 was fine for several days, and then I got a critical process error failure and reverted back to Windows 7, and then was able to do a clean install of Windows 7, start everything fresh, go to the factory restore, and then upgrade back to Windows 10, which was a bad idea because I'm back at square one again as of this morning. So
you just need to buy a new computer.
That's
what that means. But now you can put Cortana on your Android phone.
I have that, definitely. Moving on.
Just before we do move on, I want to say this is another good thing to see. I wish that, and Android is certainly not the worst of these, I wish these other operating systems would allow third-party apps like Cortana to have access to the underlying operating system so they could do all of their functions. And iOS is the worst at that. Trust me, I'm not picking on Android here. And Windows doesn't do that on Windows Phone very well either. So it's not like this is unusual, but I do like to see a little more cross-platform functionality going on. That's good.
It would be very nice, for sure. Avid Life Media, owner of Ashley Madison, is offering a $500,000 Canadian reward for information leading to the arrest and prosecution of the attackers responsible for the leak of the Ashley Madison database. Toronto Police Acting Staff Superintendent Bryce Evans announced the bounty. He also acknowledged receiving 2 unconfirmed reports of suicide related to the data leak.
Yeah, that means they heard the reports and they're investigating them. So we don't actually know anything more about that detail-wise. But yeah, putting out a big old bounty there.
It's interesting because Ashley Madison hadn't really, from what I've heard so far, they haven't connected with their users at all about this database leak. They haven't, said anything about it on the homepage. I believe there haven't been any emails sent out about it. They're going straight to the bounty, apparently. But I have very mixed feelings about this whole thing. I think there's a lot of gray area. This is not a black and white situation in terms of, we're not just getting out there and embarrassing people who are, having extramarital affairs. There's more complicated situations involved, and a lot of those stories are coming to the front too. People who have, it's a bad scene all in all.
Well, yeah, and I think a lot of this was discussed last week, but divorce
Yeah, I'm
lawyers use this. People had other folks sign them up as a joke, so their names are in there. People who were at a different point in their lives signed up a while ago, and their names are in there. So yeah, there's all kinds of explanations and context around the leak. What is black and white is it was illegal for them to hack in and steal this database and leak it. So
True.
That part is getting the cooperation of the Canadian authorities. The next web reports that Google is testing a new feature that will alert a user if they take a photo in a, quote, food-related place. That's called a restaurant where I'm from, or a grocery store. Anyway, I guess it could be more than just a restaurant. It could be a grocery store. There you go. So a food-related place. And then what Google will do is offer to automatically add that image to the location on Google Maps. So it's a way for you when you're using Google Maps to see a little bit more about the restaurant. Features being tested by map maker guides of level 3 or above. Those vaunted wizards, I believe they're volunteers who help edit Google Maps. But they're testing it right now. The intention, though, would be to roll it out to everybody. Just be careful in German restaurants, because the courts there recently determined that chefs hold the copyright over the appearance of their food, and even in a photo you take.
That's fascinating. I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, that's nuts. Like, they created that. It's like artwork, right? Like you when you're in a museum, they're like, oh, you can't take pictures of the art. They're saying that the same applies to chefs. But
fascinating.
Anyway, yeah.
I'll have to read up on that because I'm very curious to learn more. LG's upcoming 10-inch G Pad 2 will feature a 7,400 milliamp hour battery, according to TechCrunch. Oh boy. The G Pad 2 won't be revealed or get a price until next month at IFA in Berlin, but will also feature a 1920 by 1200 display. But that battery is the selling point.
Yeah, right? I mean, that's a lot of battery. They're saying 2 days of use, which I think is constant use. And my tablets already with their piddly 3,000 plus milliamp hour batteries get days and days of battery life as it is. That thing will last you forever.
Subject, title for the episode, Dat Battery Tho.
Dat Battery Tho.
Dat Battery Tho.
Because otherwise, I don't care about a new tablet at this point, frankly. They're not that exciting, but that's pretty exciting. New York Times reports that Intel is part of a $100 million round of investment in Mirantis, an OpenStack-based enterprise cloud company. Intel could help OpenStack with integration and scalability and make up for some of Intel's decline in chip sales as cloud services have been reducing server sales. We don't usually report on funding happening because it happens all the time, but what's interesting here is that Intel putting money into cloud services is hedging its bets against the decline in hardware sales, and they're injecting OpenStack with some life. Not that OpenStack has been dying, but it's another big name getting in on the OpenStack enterprise, the open source enterprise there.
Yeah. In the wake of stock market declines based on fears of a slowing Chinese economy, Apple's Tim Cook says that China will continue to be a, quote, unprecedented opportunity over the long term. Cook told CNBC that the App Store in China had its best performance over the past 2 weeks, according to Reuters. And Tim Cook sent an email directly to Jim Cramer. Yeah, that he was specifically I don't know if Jim Cramer had even emailed him first, or if it was just a preemptive email.
I imagined it as Tim Cook, who's going to say crap about this? I got to get to Jim Cramer right now. Yeah,
Jim Cramer. Jumped on there, but that's he's definitely getting out there and trying to calm some of these fears around the stock right now.
But everybody's stock is taking a hit right now. If you haven't heard, most of the stock markets in the world are declining or were declining this morning because of fears around Chinese economic concerns. With Apple, they're saying, look, our phones have been selling well. They've been increasing in sales. We haven't been adversely affected. But a lot of analysts are pointing out that the fallout from the slowing economy may not have shown up in Apple sales yet. The market is just now getting saturated. And it's not what happened last quarter that investors are worried about. It's what's going to happen in future quarters. And while Tim Cook may believe, rightly so, that sales will continue to be strong, it's harder to say that for sure.
Buy.
That is not an actual financial recommendation.
No.
That was Veronica saying goodbye to the main part of the headlines and hello to the news from you, our No? Does that not work? All right.
No, I
fine.
liked that. I was giving you
you
the
did?
thumbs up. Yeah.
Okay, good. DailyTechNewsShow.reddit.com is the place to submit stories, many of which we've already discussed. We don't call out every single one. So if you submitted a story and you heard us talk about it, just take credit for it. Just tell everyone, yeah, that was me.
That was me.
But we'd like to call out a couple of them. Haterate sent us another USA Today story about how police departments in America use Stingray cell phone trackers to find routine crime suspects, the U.S. in particular. Police in Baltimore and at least 35 other cities use the device, which poses as a cell tower, in order to track a phone's location within a few yards. Now, use of the device frequently is concealed, not just from suspects, but from lawyers, even prosecutors and judges, in part due to non-disclosure agreements with the FBI, from which they get the stingrays. Detective Jimmy McNulty may have said, "I caught him, Bunk, on the stingray. I caught him, and he doesn't effing know it." That's from the forthcoming HBO series Stingray.
Stingray.
Yeah.
On the streets.
It takes place in Baltimore and 35 other cities around the US.
It's an anthology show. It's
much more ambitious. Yeah.
Yeah. StarfuryZeta tipped us off to this story. Wired UK reports Twitter has blocked API access from 30 accounts from the Open State Foundation. The accounts like Polytwoops and Diplotwoots preserve deleted tweets by politicians and diplomats, naturally. The U.S. version of the service was blocked May 15th. We're going to talk more about this in our main discussion story.
Yeah, in fact, let's just go right into our main discussion story. That's why I put it at the end here. Real quickly, though, I want to point out that in the actual show, The Wire, they actually got judicial review of their wire, unlike what is described in the Stingray. And that's a look at the headlines. All right, so no, it's not Duplotwoops. Has nothing to do with child blocks. It's Diplotwoops and Polytwoops. And
it's not the DJ Diplo either?
No, good point. Not things that he said and deleted off of Twitter. What was happening is 31 accounts at one point, but the U.S. one was blocked May 15th, have been notifying you through Twitter if a politician or a diplomat tweeted something and then deleted it, so that you could say, hey, you know what? They don't want you to see this, but this is something they wrote. Now, Twitter has blocked API access for all of those accounts. Those accounts were doing that tracking. They've been archiving them. They're still archiving them. And you'll see a lot of headlines that are playing fast and loose saying that these sites are being blocked. The sites are not being blocked. What is being blocked is they had set up through the API a way to automatically tell if certain accounts had deleted a tweet and then be able to post that tweet before it disappeared. That way,
right? So it's automatically retweeting it basically as soon as the deletion occurred.
Yeah. So Twitter has said that's just not okay. We think it's unfair if people want to delete a tweet for you to pull it back into existence. So we're cutting off your API access. Now let's be clear. These folks can still look for deleted tweets and repost them elsewhere. They just can't use the API to post them on Twitter. In a letter to the Open State Foundation, which runs Polytwoops and all of the various accounts. I know, right?
This is the best part, that we have to say these words over and over. That is
Polytwoops and Diplotwoops.
This is what they wanted. We're just saying
Twitter
these words
said that after thoughtful internal deliberation and close consideration of a number of factors, they decided to block the API access. And they said, imagine how nerve-wracking, terrifying even, tweeting would be if it was immutable and irrevocable. No one user is more deserving of that ability than another. Indeed, deleting a tweet is an expression of the user's voice. They're saying, let's honor the auteur of the tweet. Arjan El Faced, director of the Open State Foundation in the Netherlands, said, what elected politicians publicly say is a matter of public record. Even when tweets are deleted, it's part of parliamentary history. This is not about typos. It is a unique insight on how messages from elected politicians can change without notice. Do you side with either one of these, Veronica?
In my opinion, it's a matter of public record, and I think Twitter should have stayed out of it, personally. I think that this is not... It's fair use of the content, I believe. I think that it's, if you are a politician, your expectation of privacy is less than that of a private citizen. And I think people have a right to know what they've been tweeting about. It's very easy to tell if something has been deleted because it was a typo, or if because it was a reversal of their opinion, or a reversal of their standpoint because it was not popular, or, a changing political temperature. So that's kind of how I'm feeling right now. Maybe that would change. But if I tweeted about it and I was a public figure, I would expect people to be able to see that.
Well, and you are a public figure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of a sort, because you are a personality, journalist, etc. That also makes you a public figure. So
I think super extra careful about everything that I tweet.
Right. Yeah.
For that exact reason.
And politicians do too. You're telling me that politicians aren't super careful? I mean, yeah, they make mistakes and they type things that they realize afterwards, oh, wait a minute, I misjudged. Mm-hmm. But they're being super careful as well. Here's a side note. Talking about the right to be forgotten last week, the European Court of Justice, which administers the right to be forgotten rules, has said that there could be an exception to refuse link removal for, quote, people in public life in regards to right to be forgotten. So in essence, Twitter is being more restrictive than the European Court of Justice by saying we don't care. They are saying particularly it doesn't matter if you're a public person. No one is more deserving of that ability than another to be able to remove something from the public record.
Right, and I think it is important. We already noted this in the beginning of the discussion that they're still able to archive all of these tweets. I mean, but I archive all of my tweets. I archive all of my replies. I'm weird like that. I just like having that on record somewhere for myself. So these companies are still able to do that, these Twitter accounts. And like you said, they're also able to repost things because they can copy it into a tweet and repost it anytime. It's just you lose that immediacy factor and that automation that I think was part of the draw to these types of tweets.
In a way, I don't think that what Twitter is doing here is going to have a material effect, because the tweets that disappear that are most valuable to the public discourse will still be noticed. How many times in the tech world, forget politics, have we seen something that was posted on Twitter and then removed because it wasn't supposed to be posted yet? Maybe it was an accidental leak or something, and you see it on every blog because the people watching that beat capture it before it goes away.
So yeah, I'm not sure. I think it's just important to note that Twitter's kind of sticking their fingers into this kind of stuff, and I don't know if it's good for them to. I mean, there's certain times and places that maybe they should get involved with this kind of thing, but why do it here? Why now? What kind of pressure were they getting?
I mean, Twitter's come under all kinds of criticism for the way they administer their APIs and blocking third-party apps that they used to encourage to do one thing. In fact, Politwoops had approval in 2012 to do this very thing. They went to Twitter and said, we're going to use your API to do this. And Twitter said, okay, that's fine, as long as you're reviewing these and making sure you're not accidentally posting things that aren't politicians. And they were not blocked because of bad behavior. They were blocked because Twitter just changed its mind. And Twitter's taken fire for that in all kinds of arenas. But this one in particular, it's not even that somebody was making a competing service like Meerkat was with Periscope. This is just somebody using the API for what the API fundamentally is meant to do, like reshare things.
Doesn't this go against everything that Twitter has really wanted to stand for in terms of transparency and kind of changing the world with open discussion and ideas and using Twitter as a force for social change and social good? I mean, maybe this isn't exactly change for social good, but I think it's important to get that information out there and be transparent and have that publicly available. And if these sites are just making that easier for people, I don't see why that's bad.
Yeah. And as we've pointed out a couple of times in this discussion, you're not actually removing what they said from the public record if anybody noticed it. You're just making it harder to automatically repost this. The Politwoops account still exists. All 31 of these accounts still exist. They just can't use the API to automatically retweet. So they didn't lose their posting abilities. They just lose the ability to make it easy. And that to me says something more, where Twitter's saying, we just don't like the idea of this, so we're going to put a speed bump in there, even if it doesn't really stop it from happening. And I'm not sure why. Like, it feels like somebody complained, doesn't it?
Oh, it absolutely does. Like, well, we can't stop them, but we can do this for you at least.
Come on,
we can
Jack.
make it a little harder for them to do this.
Costello was really against my request here, but come on, Jack. We're buddies.
Yeah, it's a new administration. It's a new.
You really don't want this
power
happening,
at the top of Twitter. I don't know. This seems very antithetical to Jack's whole thing throughout the years too. So it's weird. I mean, I know he's potentially not going to be the permanent CEO, but still, it seems like a weird move on their part.
Maybe that's it. Maybe
me.
there's a VP or a product manager who's really wanted to stop politroops for whatever reason, and Dick Costolo wouldn't let him do it.
Getting
And
that
Jack
in
is
now.
distracted enough that he was like, hey, just sign off on these. We're going to do these changes here. I don't know.
Yeah.
You never know. That's
never know.
pure speculation. But yeah, I feel like it's not a change that's really going to matter in the long run, but it's also an unnecessary change because of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's another instance of my notifications not actually turning off when I tell them to. Sorry about that.
Right. We got a pick of the day from Kome, who says, I carry a small GPS logger device that records my location throughout the day at specified intervals, like every 5 seconds. When I come home, I download the log to my PC and save it. It has all the benefits of Google Maps timeline, which we were talking about a couple weeks ago, such as helping you remember where you went on a specific date, when you went to a specific place. But my biggest reason for using that is that its desktop software can geotag pictures from a non-GPS camera. It does that by comparing the timestamp of each photo against entries in the GPS log. He says, here's some other things I like. It keeps logging for almost 2 days. You don't have to worry about draining your phone's battery. There's no privacy concerns because you control it. You have all your logs. You don't have to worry about Google changing the features. Kome says, I've been doing this for 5 years and it works for me. I know I'm geeky and I don't mind carrying another small gadget, but it's only about $50 for the Canmore GP101 that I use. And I used a Holux and I Got You, that's the real name, IGOTU, in the past. Prices vary depending on the capacity and what features they have.
Interesting.
It's life logging. Carrying
Yeah.
around one of these things, but they're not that big and they're not that expensive. So if it's something you're really interested in, but you don't want to give any more data to Google than you have to, or Foursquare or anybody else, this could be an option for you. Send your picks to feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com. You can find my picks at dailytechnewsshow.com/picks. We have a couple of comments on the right to be forgotten that we've been talking about over the past week. By the way, I really enjoyed the conversation that Andrew Main, Justin Robert Young, and Jenny Josephson had on Wednesday, and I don't think I agreed with any of them, but I loved it. Like that's the kind of conversations I want to hear on the show. And being in the position of being a listener that day, I was psyched by it. So I'm glad we're continuing to have this conversation. Tyler wrote in and said, your commentator denies the dilemma, suggesting the perfect availability of information is an indisputable good, and people wanting biographical elements forgotten are only concerned about their feelings and can be ignored. No mention was made of the difficulties of, say, an ex-convict, rightly or wrongly convicted, could face in getting a job, or the re-traumatizing of a victim of a crime from re-encountering news stories about his or her past. Are these reducible to feelings that can be ignored as trivial? And then we got a voicemail from Patrick Beja, who will be on the show tomorrow, but he wanted to share this perspective with us today.
Hey everyone, you mentioned the right to be forgotten on a couple of shows last week, and while I don't want to prolong the discussion definitely, I did want to point out one issue which wasn't discussed and I think is pretty essential to the debate, and that's the fact that the European, or at least the French, government has made Google responsible for deciding what should and shouldn't be deleted from their search results. I think whether or not we agree that the right to be forgotten should exist, that's one point where we would probably all agree. It's the fact that Google might not be the best person, and private company might not be the best person to decide what should or shouldn't be allowed to be on the internet. My 2 cents. Bye.
2 euro cents, in fact. Good point. Although, I think Wired implied in an article last week that Google could just reject all requests and wait for the courts to work it out and not be fined. Like that would be, they could just say, well, you'll need to pass it along to the Court of Justice. I think Google's trying to be a better citizen than that and try to adjudicate these things, which then goes back to Patrick's point. Is that the right way to do this? I look at it as something that really doesn't have anything to do with what is true. A lot of people have been talking about like, well, what if somebody was wrongly convicted? Well, then there should be a story that is updated that says the person is wrongly convicted. That's really not what we're talking about. I feel like a good example of what we're talking about. 16-year-old woman steals a pack of gum, stuffs it in her bra, and gets caught. And wow, we talk about Reddit bait, right? That is a story that's going to get BuzzFeeded and upworthied from here until forever. 20 years later, she's gone to school, become an investment analyst, very successful, but still finds it hard to be taken seriously, still faces harassment because this story keeps coming up. And what she would like is to have that story just not come up in search results for her. And that's really, to me, where Right to Be Forgotten comes from, is somebody who says, look, I just don't want that to. Yes, it's true, but I'm a very different person than I was when I was 16. Or I've reformed, I've changed my life, and yet I can't stop that particular story from following me around. Can I just get it taken out of the search engine? You don't have to take it down off the sites because it's true. I'm not trying to deny it happened. I just don't want my name. And remember, Right to Be Forgotten is just about name and position. It's a very limited search that you're getting removed. Like, I just don't want my name attached to that story anymore.
That's the kind of example that I think really gets me about this, because you feel for the people in that situation, but I feel like it's going to be abused in so many other kinds of ways that there's no, I don't know if there's a good blanket fix for this. Well, and so I guess does it have to be case by case, and is that feasible?
Yeah, and well, that's what's going on, is it's case by case, and it's not terribly feasible, but that's what they're doing. And to me, it feels like the problem is symptomatic. It's like saying, oh, you have a horrible rash? Well, here, let's cover it with makeup. When really what you should do is find out what's causing the rash, right? And so it could seem very flippant for me to say society will learn to deal with this as we learn the new reality of this being possible. It wasn't possible before. But I do think that's true. I think people who are growing up in this world where everything you do it can be logged and permanently recorded are going to feel differently about that in other people, because they're going to understand, well, that could easily be me, and that's the norm. Whereas we who grew up with, if you have a story about yourself like that in the public, it must have been really bad, because lots of stories like that don't make it into the public. They all make it into the public now, it seems like. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I feel like there's a better solution than, hey, Google, remove these, hey, Bing, remember, it's not just Google, it's any search engine, remove these links from your search engine and pretend they didn't happen. And that's why I really like Jenny's idea of some kind of service that can help you change your search engine ranking. It's like SEO for individuals.
That does exist. Reputation.com and sites like that do that kind of thing for a fee. And they can be very effective.
So maybe there's something to
like this American Life episode about it.
So maybe there's something that can subsidize those kinds of situations for certain people. I don't know. I don't pretend to know what the answer is, but this doesn't feel like the right answer to those situations. And this should not be used to whitewash people's pasts. And I think that's a lot of the complaints about it are like, oh, well, you're going to get politicians. And we mentioned earlier in the show, they make an exception. The European Court of Justice says, no, public figures probably shouldn't be able to take advantage of this. But yeah, the fact that it's now like, you've got to remove the link and you have to remove the link to the story about the link being removed, it just shows that this is like epicycles in astronomy. It's not really addressing the fundamental underlying issue.
It's almost more effective to just, like you said, get things removed from the first page, because the interest level and the click amount drops so heavily after the first page of search results that just tweaking the SEO for other things can really have an effect.
Yeah, let's drive it down. Let's figure out easy ways for average individuals, so you don't have to be a social media guru to figure out, like, this is how I can take care of this issue. I can tell you a couple. A Facebook page, get an about.me page. I'm an advisor, disclosure. Get any of these like public-facing, high SEO kinds of sites that are going to come up, float to the top of the surface, and that way you're driving down other things. That's like the easiest way to fix that kind of problem. But it's much more complicated after that. What if the European Commission, instead of requiring search engines to do a cut and a paste up job by removing links, required search engines to contribute to a service that people could take advantage of to take control of their own representation? And that would empower people more, I feel like. And it would be the search engines contributing to solving the problem in a better way than just like, oh, remove the link, pretend it's not there. Right. Dave from Too Damn Sunny and Not Enough Rainy Los Angeles, heard that, Dave, said he is not that impressed by Google's on-hub router that was announced last week, but he thinks listen up, Google, he knows how to save your router. There's one thing that would get him on board. He writes, a personal VPN that is easy to set up and provides safe surfing on public Wi-Fi plus access to your home network. Just add a secure VPN button in the companion app that you've already installed, and voila, you've got a direct line to your home network that is easy to use and keeps your data secure while you're surfing the web at that seedy dive bar downtown. He said this would make it easy for people to securely use public Wi-Fi and even just make the average user aware that this type of feature exists. Hey, that's genius.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Like, make it so that it just doesn't, I mean, okay, Google wants, oh, I just set off somebody's phone. Google would like you to run your data through their servers, which I think is part of why maybe they didn't think of this idea, or if they did, didn't include it. Because you don't want that. You just want an easy way to VPN through your own server. But come on. That's going to make people want to buy this router and use it more, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I still kind of want to test it out a little bit.
I do want to test it out, but I agree with Dave that there isn't anything particular about the router that makes me think it has a huge advantage over other router options, other current router options. But if it gets people to just upgrade their routers, which are sorely out of date on their firmware, maybe that's enough.
There you go.
Thank you, Dave, and thank you, everyone who wrote in. Also, really, before we go, a huge thanks to everyone who filled in last week. All of the contributors, Jenny Josephson, Bryce Castillo, Roger Chang, producing the shows. It was a fantastic week. I enjoyed being a listener. Even though I was working hard, I was able to catch the shows either later or in one case live because I had a little bit of a break, and it was enjoyable, and I hope you guys enjoyed the show too. I thought they were fantastic, so big thanks to everybody for filling in last week, and I hopefully won't have to take another one of those big long breaks for a while.
Unless you have a nice vacation.
Well, yeah, but I want to take a vacation when we always take a break at the end of December anyway, right?
Yeah.
Then we just pre-record
what
shows.
What else are they paying you for?
Huh? Well,
what else are they paying you for, you lazy
pre-record
bum?
the shows. Stop it. We pre-record. That's when we get the predictions episode and all that cool stuff. That's coming at the end of the year. Thank you, Veronica Belmont. Twitter.com/Veronica. Go watch Dear Veronica. It is a fantastic show, and I say that even beyond the fact that it's my friend Veronica doing it. It's just a good show. And Gadget.com/Dear-Veronica. What's coming up there?
Oh, we've got some good ones. We've got the guys from My Brother, and Me answering a question. We've got, what else do we got? Oh, we've got some stuff on guided meditation coming up too. So I'm doing a full episode on unplugging and kind of reconnecting with yourself and not feeling so frazzled about our technology overladen lives. So I'm excited about that. Yeah.
Good advice. You get good advice. That's why you should go watch it. Engadget.com. Thank you to our bosses. I met some great folks in Detroit last week. A bunch of people came out to a meetup that Larry Petrucci and I had, and it was fantastic. Some of the best people in the world live in Detroit. And big thanks. I think it was Jerry who brought me the Tony Pacos pickles, as well as the mug. Tony Pacos, if you're a MASH fan, you get it. It's a Klinger thing. Really, really enjoyed my time in Detroit. One of the coolest things was I met a guy who's a chef at the Veterans Center at the meetup, and then the next day, it was the next day or the next day after that, I was out shooting in this area north of Comerica Park, and he's just walking down the road. He's like, "Hey, Tom." It's like small town feel, the middle of Detroit.
That's great.
Like, "Hey, chef, what's up?" So anyway, thank you to those bosses and all the people who make the show possible. If you would like a mug, I can't get you a Tony Pacos mug, but I can get you a DTNS mug. Go to dailytechnewsshow.com/store. Big thanks to everyone who supports the show. You can find all those ways, the store, the Patreon, everything at dailytechnewsshow.com/support. Our email address is feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com. You can give us a call, 512-59-DAILY. That's 512-593-2459. Listen to the show live Monday through Friday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern at alphageekradio.com, and visit our website, dailytechnewsshow.com. We'll be back tomorrow with Patrick Beja. Talk to you then.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Get more at frogpants.com.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
Boom.
Boom.
Great show. What should we call it?
Ooh, I have ideas.
Call it.
I mean, I think I know what we're going to call it.
Really, the only one could be Dat Battery Tho.
Do we do Dat Battery Tho or Dat Battery Tho?
I don't know. I take your cue on that. What is more appropriate? Showbot, the person on Showbot, that's Dr. Payne, wrote Dat Battery Tho.
Battery Tho.
But then lower down, we've also got Dat Battery Tho and Dat Battery
Oh. Yeah, we've got W. Scott is one and Ken from Chicago with the alternate pronunciations.
I specifically said Dat Battery Tho. So I feel like the top
Ken from
suggestion
Chicago.
would be Dr. Payne.
Well, is it DOE or DOH? Dr. Payne says DOE. Ken from Chicago says DOH.
Let's see. What does the meme really say, though?
I think we should turn to Know Your Meme for this.
Battery. Yeah, I think we should.
Oh, someone did nobody do Pollet whoops? There it went.
No.
Well.
Yes, Doe was the original pronunciation, but I don't know if it's the correct pronunciation.
I see more results for DOE than DOH.
Dat Tho. See, on search results for Know Your Meme.
Yes?
Oh, it's okay. It's both are accepted.
Oh.
On Know Your
DOE?
Meme.
DOE is acceptable?
Yes, I believe so. Though looks a little more popular. But the memes.
Urban Dictionary, thank you, Dr. Payne, has Dat blank Doe, DOE.
Yes, an entry for Dat blank Doe, an alternate spelling for Dat Tho, was added to Urban Dictionary on November 18th.
All right.
So it looks like the more common spelling is Tho, THO. So.
Let's go with that. Dat Battery Tho, THO.
So, all right. I feel bad for Dr. Payne, but
Well, no, Dr. Payne still gets the credit, right?
He gets the win.
Yeah.
Okay. Even though W. Scottus won.
I think W. Scottus 1 gets to share in the credit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
W. Scottus 1 gets the I wrote it accurately credit. Dr. Payne gets the I got more votes credit. How's that?
Good.
All right. Yeah, I should probably levelate this thing, huh? How do you do this?
Levelate. Oh,
How do you produce this show?
I don't know,
Neshcom!
'cause Bryce did it last week, yo.
That Neshcom dough.
That Neshcom was awesome. I got to go back to my true identity as an editorial producer.
Woot!
Yeah.
There it is. Well, I'm levelating. What are you guys up to?
Peruse and Know Your Meme.
Yeah, me too. I got lost.
Click hole.
Yep.
See, W. Scottus 1 said he will gladly share the victory with Dr. Payne.
Yay, good
And
job.
Dr. Payne said, W. Scottus 1, we did it!
And Ellie just smiled and
And it looks
so
cute.
She's so cute.
There she is! There she is!
All right, I have to bring this forward now.
Look at her being cute.
I mean, really, eventually, especially if we hit the video goal, this show will just be showing Ellie.
I know.
It will evolve.
Dat baby dough.
Dat
People
baby
will,
dough.
will speak.
Dat baby dough.
And then Ellie will grow up, and they'll be like, oh, well, she's not a baby anymore. Now what?
Like, not interested.
Roger will just have to have another baby.
More babies. Yeah.
Ellie.
Or I'll make you the godparent of the second one, so you take it for half the year.
I don't think
Veronica.
that's how that works.
What?
Yeah, I said, Veronica, I'll make you the godparent for the second one, so you can take him or her for half the year.
Okay.
That's the
Seems
tradition in the Chang family.
Is that
Yeah.
so?
The godparent of the second child must shoulder the burden for half a year at a time.
Yeah.
I would love a time-shared baby. That would be terrific.
That would be
Time-
terrific.
You know,
Let's disrupt
that
that
sounds like a
industry.
great startup idea.
I know.
No time to raise a real family? I'll timeshare one.
Airbnb.
I would like to list now the all 6,125 ways that could go wrong. And yet I really want it.
But then you could have like the Christmas photos, It's like, well, yeah, that's my Airbnb or whatever.
Airbnb.
Airbnb.
Airbnb. Got it. Done.
Excuse me.
Oh.
Yeah, I spent time hiking Yosemite with my children, but you don't have any. Well, no, not my little children.
No, it's my Uber baby.
Uber baby.
Uber, but for babies.
Uber baby buggy bumpers.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Timeshare
like-
baby equals babysitting, says Ken from Chicago. Where they pay
No,
you
Ken, that's
to play
not how
with
you
the
sell
baby.
it. You don't sell it that way. You sell it as a timeshare. You de-emphasize the pain of responsibility and upsell the joy.
What are you laughing at, Peanut?
It's not
Peanut.
funny.
Ah, great.
Your
What are you
Peanut.
laughing at?
Now you can eat the
that.
microphone, aren't you?
Don't eat that.
Yeah.
So hungry. I want a burrito so bad. I think that's the thing that's gonna make me feel better. I don't think yoga today.
Burrito?
I think burrito.
I'm still for burrito yoga.
Do you keep any ready to heat foods in the fridge? Nah. You're not like me. Go to Trader Joe's and pack up on 20 different frozen items.
No, not anymore. I got too much stuff I gotta get through. On class. Any fresh foods?
Fresh foods.
And a lot of salmon.
So
a
are
lot
you
of
going
salmon.
to order a burrito brought to you by some disruptive service, or are you going to go get it?
I should really walk somewhere.
Yeah.
Up to the mission.
Pre-walk
You're
the
pretty
burrito.
close.
I am. Hey, don't geolocate me.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're in San Francisco. You're in somewhere near there's a burrito place.
I'm definitely somewhere close to a burrito somewhere.
Did you see how close the contender game is to 100,000? Can we just discuss how amazing that is? That is amazing.
Yeah, he's doing great.
So does it mean we don't have to pay Justin anymore? Kidding.
Kidding.
Hashtag joke.
No, that's
Hashtag
fantastic.
jokes.
And not surprising to me in any way. I feel like that's like the world being just.
Yeah, I saw it get written up on
Boing boing.
Boing Boing, all sorts of places. Yeah.
I hope Justin remembers us when he becomes the
When
next
he's-
Cards Against Humanity
He's
creator.
super cool and famous. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, hey guys.
Oh, hey, guys.
Hey, remember me? I was in your wedding. No. Who are you again?
It was a busy Dragon Con for me.
Dragon
Yeah.
Con is coming up.
Oh, boy.
Oh my
It's
god, you
gonna
guys.
be a good time. DTNS will not be after dark this year. I know that will please a few people, but probably disappoint a bunch. It will be at around the regular time. I think it's at 4 o'clock Eastern, so just a half hour early.
Good.
And Tom, we have to talk about other convention things
Yes.
soon.
For sure. My schedule's so damn tight.
Yeah, that's what she said.
That is not what. No, that's what I said. That's not what she said. She didn't say that. It was me. What the? What? Oh, man. There's a takeover ad on SoundCloud.
A what?
Like where
What's
they
that?
take over the background with an ad.
Oh, gross.
I can't even tell what it's for.
Hey Jen, do you need me to handle the archive video?
If you want to, you can do it every day for the rest of time.
Why does he
I'm
have
just
to talk
asking. I'm
and
just trying to
nothing?
figure out what I need to get done.
If that works for you, that sounds great, because it allows me to go on to the other thing I just immediately realized I forgot to do.
Okay.
Too many jobs. Too many jobs.
Too many jobs.
Too many jobs.
Sorry.
Too many jobs.
Too many jobs. I've got that problem too. I guess I'd much rather have that problem than not enough jobs. I'm not complaining.
Yeah. I agree.
That vocal fry, though. That vocal fry, though. Can I get some vocal fries with that?
Stop it! You're scaring my kid.
Fry discourse here, please.
I'm a vocal fry cook.
It's getting so bad.
Doesn't even make sense. I know.
Doesn't even make any sense.
But it works.
Doesn't. So tell me, in all honesty, Veronica, did the show cheer you up?
Yeah, a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly just talking about burritos cheered me up, though.
What about the
to be
baby?
expected.
No?
And the baby. No, you guys do cheer me up. I have to send back my computer.
Why do you have to send it
figure out
back?
what's wrong with it? Oh, Roger, don't even get me started.
Oh,
Windows 10
you know
thing.
what? If you have a Eufy motherboard, it might be an issue.
No.
Everyone who hears this, I don't care when, I don't care if it's right now on Monday or later, reply Veronica a picture of a smiling animal of some sort.
That's already been happening.
That's
Weirdly.
a lot of dolphins.
Yeah.
Could be a unicorn, could be an alligator. Whatever you can find.
That would cheer me up.
Just
So I have to
inundate
send.
her
I have
with
to get
smiling
this
animals.
thing. I have to get this thing to FedEx, but my printer is no longer recognizing the Wi-Fi. So now I have to figure out how I'm going to print the package slip.
I thought it was
Send that
turned
back.
off and turned on again. Did
Oh,
that
you're
not-
right. Ryan did fix that. You're
Yeah.
right.
See?
That got fixed.
Problem solved.
I'm so mad that worked. I'm so mad. That made me even more angry. I was more angry after it being fixed by the way it was fixed than having it still be broken. So, yeah. That's
Just
that.
one of those days.
It's one of those days.
I was born ready.
Hey, are you gonna play Patrick's thing after?
No, I played it in the show.
You did?
Yeah, he did.
When did I miss that? Oh, I was briefly on the
You
phone.
made me doubt myself for a second. I'm like, I did,
No, you
right?
definitely played it. You definitely did.
For some weird reason, I got like 3 calls from my stockbroker today. I don't really know why.
This one guy keeps posting the same thing on all my posts on my public Facebook wall, which is, do you like country music? Do you want kids? Do you only speak and understand English?
That sounds like a bot.
Sounds like
Oh my god, that was the loudest Veronica Belmont I've ever heard.
It's pretty loud. It's not even full. It's not even a full volume.
Veronica Belmont.
It's me. That's when they wear it out.
I like.
Oh, but he
I
will.
want that to be the intro to a show. Like that plays, and then you going, "That's me."
That's me.
The eye twitch.
Oh, you guys, so many animals that are smiling. I love you.
Yay!
Even a smiling sloth. And a bunny with his tongue sticking out. And a smiling fox.
It's working.
The cat's not smiling, but it looks pretty funny.
If you guys don't need me anymore, I'm going to take off and feed her.
Okay. Yep. Thanks, Roger.
Feed her a burrito. That's important.
No, I have to feed her formula. She can't eat solid foods.
Formula burritos.
Veronica Belmont, destroyer of eardrums.
It's me, Veronica Belmont.
That's me.
It's the funniest thing the thing that makes me laugh the most on Twitter is Sam Sykes. Whenever he just tweets, "It's me." I don't know, something about that. He just tweets, "It's me." Nothing else. I don't know why I think that's so funny.
What is it again?
It's me.
He just says it's me.
Yeah, that's all he says. The whole tweet is just him saying, "It's me.
It's me.
I'm here. This is me. It's me."
What does Twitter say when you're actually on the website? I'm so rarely ever on the website.
I love the website. I love the website much more than I love the app. I just use the app.
I use
it's more
TweetDeck.
convenient. I use TweetBot, but I love the notifications on the web are so much better.
Well, I use TweetDeck for notifications, and they are pretty great.
It's not that kind of notifications though. I mean, like things that have been retweeted or favorited, the number of people, that kind of stuff. It's much more information filled.
But you can get that in TweetDeck too. It's just different.
Whatever, Tom.
So all it says now is compose new tweet. Ugh.
Veronica Belmont.
Tom Merritt.
Haha.
You have one too. It's you.
It's me.
It's you.
Okay.
What now?
Show.
Yes, Robert, I like the website. Problem?
I like the website, cannot lie.
Other websites can't deny. When a tweet walks in, with
an itty-bitty space and 140 characters in your face.
In your face. I want to see you get out of this. I want to see you get out of this one, Tom. Get out of this one.
Thoughts sprung. See the thought? Because he wrote it down. Your thoughts are...
Thoughts sprung in your face. You get thoughts.
I like big thoughts.
I don't have a jingle, Ian, because I wasn't on the show with the people that make the jingles.
Yeah, that was Veronica and I guesting on a particular show a long time ago.
Those are priceless internet artifacts.
And then, of course, I stole this one from Lamar himself. So.
My laugh sounded very fake. It wasn't meant to.
All right. That's it. It's good to be back.
Yay!
Thanks for not all leaving.
Yeah, really. I second that.
And I mean you too, Jenny.
You did good.
See you tomorrow, everyone.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.